right, hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. We have our puppy on our lap. I hope you have your dog somewhere within arm's reach and you give them love, because this is the intro of the video and this is when we give our puppy girls our love. Yo. Net. She'll stay up here as long as she wants to. Usually it's like 10-15 minutes. It's weird. My house feels kind of warm. I'm thinking about getting a second air conditioner. It's one of those things I don't feel like I need it most. Hesitant to get it, but I think it would be smart if I did. All right, so we have ads going on right now. So what we're going to do, I don't remember which file I was. Guess we have to open them up. Okay, cool. Blade. Last time we were playing, we also had a blade. We have ads going on right now, so I'm gonna just do one last Souls grind, and then we'll get started. The reason that we ended our last episode was we were doing a Souls grind, and I feel like they're kind of unless you're really into that kind of thing. Or I guess that it is really good for like time. Fortunately, I didn't get any stories. But yeah, we are going for an Instinct build. We're trying to make Instinct look amazing. So far, our weapon buffing has been nuts, and I would also argue our bombs seem to do enough damage. There's our electric blast spell. Okay. That's our most recent spell that we got, and with just enough mind to cast it about 3 times. It has been an amazing spell to have. I'm very happy that that spell too. I kind of feel like this game. Oh wait, hold on. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Just realized while I was grinding last night, this game has been wild. So far, these ladies only drop me Wise pastels, so if you see me not picking up props, that's why. If I could sell them, I actually would probably pick up everything. But unfortunately, we do not. Time-wise, our time was about like, I think it was like 2 minutes 15 seconds or 2 minutes 25 seconds to that run. We just did that in a minute and so getting your weapons with a little bit of damage on them can definitely help speed things up. So as we can see, we've already bought out the Demi-Shade Ore, already bought out the Moon Silver. In terms of weapon upgrades, right now we're playing with our Plunder Blade, as well as the Dobietta. I was thinking about playing with the Black Hall's Double Menace, because I do believe you fire 2 bullets from that, and it already has insane instinct scaling on it. So I was thinking about it, but I like the concept of the shotgun. We will have to see how high it gets. I don't have unlimited moonstones yet, so until I have unlimited moonstones, I may upgrade everything that I can. And I'm hoping to get the Fire Blade Katana or the Dark Blade Katana. I don't remember where the Dark Blade Katana is at, but I want to try out those weapons. I'm pretty sure where we're about to go as the Dark Greatsword that I said I was going to be interested in. I want to go to. I want to just look at all of our vendors.
So you have chosen the path of inquiry and acquisition. I feel the pain burdening this. I sense more than pain.
So here she has another 3 stones. I do have plenty of extra souls at the moment. I think we only needed to have 48. Oh, wow. We burnt through that 48 real fast. But here, interesting to see that if you needed frost bombs or lunar dust here. All right, and then this character specifically, another thing that we are doing besides just out-leveling the crap out of our instincts, which we have already done, we are getting all of our stats up in a way where I can equip any weapon. So I believe the goal is around 26. So I need to get my strength up. This is kind of the perfect time if you are like me and you're like, when should I work on strength, even if I'm not strength build? The current area we're going into is fire. It is heavily, heavily fire damage. So ideally you would want to have your decks up for this section. We already have our decks up. The next area is cold. And in my opinion, the frost section does a crap ton of frost damage. So this would be a great time to do it if you have not started working on it. Stat-wise, I believe we're just trying to get a lot of our stats up. So like the strength on this is a 22. Everything else that we have doesn't require stats over 20, I believe. So explosive candle does require 20 instant. The flames, which I do think would be a very good spell if you just needed good like AoE clear or maybe some of the arena fights. That being able to fire in both directions could be really good. Okay, and then the Cursed Phalange, one of my favorite spells. Definitely, I would argue if you're trying to go for like a mind spellcaster build, I would say go up to 25 mind, and then maybe dump the rest in vitality, because I do feel like you're more dependent on getting off your spells. So having a large HP pool for you to survive things, I think, is more important. I don't think it's as much of a raw damage build. Again, our first playthrough, I did beat the game with around 200 HP. And as you can see right now, we have 20 vitality and we're at like 184. I think, I wish I remembered, I already deleted my, I guess it's kind of, maybe I had up closer to like 250. We're at a point though where vitality is only giving us like 2 to 3 HP most of the time, which feels, you know. However, I want to stress that the numbers, like if you consider that, I'm going to say that we have 200 HP, right? At 200 HP, even getting 2 HP is a 1% increase. So it's one of those things that the increases will stack up. Pardon me. The increases will stack up because everything you get above 200 better, because 200 is a good milestone, you know, and you feel like you're dying a lot. To be fair though, my strength character was also able to out-bully pretty much everything quite reliably. It's also the reason that this playthrough we're trying not to play with any weapons, is I did feel like they were too powerful. Know where I need to go. What was that? So I need to go to the green section up above us, not this like olive section I'm in. I'm confused about like some of my decisions. Like, this is a lot faster and easier to get. We shall get to it. I think something that would have made things a little bit more interesting for me as well for how like the lines of this place works out is I think it would be very fascinating. Never took the elevator. That's how you right now, as we can see, we are two-shotting enemies, or if I pull up supposed to be my shotgun. So we have to hit with it. But yeah, the reason I like the lightning blast is that there's ways in this game it hit above your head. I don't know why. Like directly aiming above you is like near impossible. For these guys, we wait for them to point at us. They point at us, parry. And then for their viney counterparts, these guys will attack you wherever you are. You get nice and close, they'll do this charge. It is a delay, and then make sure you do not touch their fire body because that burns you. Excellent, got some bullets there. I'm not sure why we got some bullets. These statues just inflict burning. All they do is they're just an AoE. But that is why we play with annoying ass enemies like that. We can just bolt them down from the sky. Again, I think it's weird that none of the guns can aim upwards. There, that guy up there is going to oh, give me back the Your souls. I'm a little low on power, so we want to make sure I rolled through that dude, if anybody's wondering why I didn't. We're a little low on power because I do tend to parry a little too much in this game. To be fair, in a lot of the Souls-style games, parrying just feels really good, and I love games like this where you get rewarded for getting HP and mana back when you successfully parry. To me, feels like just absolutely spotless. It feels like the best decision a game could make. Here I have to dodge the line from the dude in the back while fighting the dude in the front, or I can just run past everybody. Statues first, so that way I no longer have to worry about burning to death. Unfortunately, this is one of the very few rubbles that we can't break. Normally, if you see that rubble, he's trying to break it. 3 gates down. That fully charged blade. Now, we can't see the block, but where we kicked it, it is roughly below exactly where this wall is. However, I do not trust myself, so I always just bash it. Let's not take the stupid. We'll go over here next. Here is a clue that you should, by this point in the game, have the gloves to slide down the walls. The way the game intends you to do it is to slide, then you can jump. Blood bubbles. This is the game's way of teaching you that you can interact with them. Otherwise, they just kind of chase you down. And I actually don't know. We're trying to destroy something at a different time, and use spells to break it, so lightning can, in fact, break statue. Very, very good. That opens up our second gate. Helbenel Village Letter. Scientific progress has come at a fatal cost. Abominations withhold the humanity from those who have succumbed, whilst draining it from those who remain. Sorry, I'm still waking up, so that's why we're drinking a lot of coffee. Here is the Hex Barrel Repeater, though. This was definitely a favorite on our character. The way that this works, it's literally the opposite of our Shotgun Blast. You hold the trigger down and you will remain stationary. However, while you're remaining stationary, you will fire up to, I think it's about 5 bullets per one ammunition. If you just hold it. Hannah just works. Cool. So there I want to test out if my shotgun can destroy bubbles. Very, very specific interaction, but very necessary. Powder of Dominant. And more Demi-Shade Ore. So far we only have one weapon we use our Demi-Shade Ore on, I believe. And that is our Storm Chaser Mace Whip. There is a possibility there is another boss that you could fight where you would get an Ice Blade that would be really, really good for this area. However, that boss absolutely kicks my ass, so I want as much HP as possible and as much frost resist as possible. I was trying to, on my Mind character, I was intentionally trying to save up as, like, I wanted to get that weapon as quickly as possible. It was brutal. Like, I had to get 200 HP. And then on my Mind character as well, it was, I wasn't doing enough damage with this. There is a fun interaction, though, that I will teach once we get there. Alright, so here we want to take out, well, my opinion, we want to take out the range dudes before... I didn't know. That was a very interesting interaction. Wasn't ready for it. We got another burning statue, so if you have low dexterity and you're wondering why you're catching things constantly, you can have these middle mist pastels. To be honest with you, I know that a bunch of the vendors sell them. I think Sarabella in town, so she's the nurse that you rescue right away. I believe that she sells them. I personally have never really experienced burning as frequently enough that I'm like, oh, I absolutely have to have one. On my first playthrough, yes. First playthrough, I absolutely I had them equipped, and I was catching on fire once every 3 screens. But definitely not a bad thing to have. However, my first character also had extremely low dex because I did not die. Here, I am using my shotgun a whole lot, mainly because I want to be using my instinct build. That was a sloppy combo. But yeah, we are supposed to be an instinct build. And unfortunately, I'm kind of going... Yes! We're going right back to some of our basics, like the basics of combat. And I hate to say it, I do feel that way about this game as a whole. Even as a character, I do feel like the basics of combat are very, very necessary. Man, this Blunder Blade, I don't know what it is that it does such incredible damage. Something of note as well, on the map here, this specific point, you have to leave this room and come back for the map if you're in. And you don't need to, it doesn't affect anything. However, if you're somebody like me, if you like looking at your map and you're like, wait a second, why is that not complete? That is why. There's something, I guess while you're in there battling, it doesn't like fill out. Fill out. Fills out perfectly. Don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the way that I take that room. Obviously, you could battle everything on the ground level and then slowly work up. For me, for whatever reason, it makes more sense that I see... I saw the fire statues and I was like, no, I'm not dealing with that shit. I don't have a great understanding of those fire statues, like how far they reach. So there's the next one. I was literally just thinking, wonder when we get the next one. So anybody wondering when you get to next upgrade your weapon? So we can see all those cinders up in the air. That is the range of a statue. So as we can see, you have to be pretty quick, or pretty close to it for it to inflict a burn on you. We have a giant in this room. He's way up on the ceiling where we can't reach him. But he's going to be throwing these heads down at us. But fun fact about that is also guarding the next weapon upgrade. For us. So if you're wondering, when do I get my next weapon upgrade? How do I increase my damage yet again? It is unfortunately behind him, and more specifically, it is behind him in a way where you need to defeat the boss of this area before you can get him. Spencer? Way too early. That is ammo. Okay, so it looks like these flaming mask guys. Yeah, flaming mask guys, they can drop the Edelweiss pass. So should you need to farm them, or you're going the instinct route like I am. Double jump to get that, or if I would also say, if anybody is playing through this game as normal, so you're playing through and you're not trying to take some of the shortcuts that I have been taking, if you didn't want to farm up in the ice area, this area I would say is very plentiful in souls. So definitely a great contender. This area punishes you for moving down slowly through. But those three statues are just meant to make you very, very fire weak. So that this dude, you're fire weak as fuck, and that he can burn you. There is nothing up directly above me. That guy you cannot interact with, you cannot shoot him, you cannot hurt him. There's me forgetting that these guys. There we can see I touched Big Boy. Good chunk of my HP, so probably about 75, if I had to guess. Here, this wall is suspicious. And I guess our map here, you can see that there's a little edge there and there, which can make it more suspicious. Fuck that up real bad. Salvaged it with our shotgun gun. Now, to me, so you get there's a baby hidden up there. To me, this would have made sense to keep going all the way back to here to drop you down. I'm very, very shocked. I'm sure maybe it was like a design problem, or I don't know. So any of these corpses that set themselves on fire in this way, I believe you can be hurt. Yep, so you can get burned by nearly every single thing. While you're climbing to the ledge, now again, I want to stress that I have 50 instinct, and a lot of these enemies are not dropping, which makes me wonder if I went too high on the instinct, or maybe there's like certain breakpoints. I'll have to maybe do some testing later. So here we have a vine door. That is the ability we get for defeating this area boss. And then we can go backtrack to different places. Actually, did not need to go this way. But we are at...
A blessed curse. The sweetness of the flame. Despite efforts otherwise, a weak soul cannot be bolstered. Embrace the pain. Renounce control. None shall betray the last faith.
All right. We are going to try to use ice to our advantage this. I also said that this ability, I think, is like down now, right at the start of a boss fight. So, I personally believe that this ice spell is super broken. Probably not against this specific boss. I would actually say the Cursed Ramses can set the boss up because of the long cast time on this. But this spell, I do want to try to show it off, especially because this is Fire Whip. I do. Does 2 dash attacks always. 3 damage on her. Okay, so here, you actually stand right where I'm standing. Can't hit. She'll blow the flames and they will just circle around her. But yeah, I wanted to show. Oh, not remember that. I'm trying to use my guns. I'm out of bullets. Alright, so here she goes to phase 2. This would be definitely a So here we just have to dodge flames. This is where maybe where you can heal up or fix your mana. She ever puts a pillar on herself. This is also where the whip is super amazing. Sit there slapping her while standing in the you have to be close to dodge. I am fairly certain I'm going to kill her, so I'm going to buff the blind. I put on the Hungry Souls extract or whatever it is. Give me more souls for killing her. Unfortunately, I don't know if it worked or not, because we got 30,000, and I'm pretty sure that her number is not like whatever it would be, like 27,600. Alright, so we get the Lost Mark of Transcendence. This gives us 2 things. It gives us the ability to break through these vine walls. It also gives us demon mode. Now, on my main playthrough, we ended up never, ever using demon mode. I will use demon mode in a scene up here because I saw it on the speedrun and I was like, holy shit, that's brilliant. get some ammo. I do have plenty of souls at this point where I'd be like, ooh, I would want to go level up. But I want to finish exploring this area first. And once again, I'm out of ammo. So I would say on this instinct build, something I am very shocked about. I do blow through ammunition way too much. So I would definitely argue, if you're going an instinct build, I would do a grind session somewhere and stock up on bullets. Because, to be honest with you, it is very frustrating for me to be relying on my gun and my blunderbuss. I can't rely on either one because if I'm out of frickin' ammo. Again, we have a wall that we can slide down here to safely coming down. Little hidey hole. I do believe I could probably run. Not roll that. These guys 100% are very ignorable. Maybe if you go up there, maybe they set fireballs at you to the point where they're actually annoying. I am somebody, I just like to kill everything. So here, if we did not have the vine break, we would have to come back down here. I did not intentionally plan that out. This is just really convenient. And like almost everything in this game, once you defeat a boss... Oh, this is for blood. Oh, that's weird. Good to know that that's where the blood charm is in the fire. Alright, I'm trying to consider where I actually need the blood charm. I guess you need it here. This is definitely a problem for my build at the moment. Is if we don't have the ability to fight without a projectile. Why did that miss? Give me your man. He's in hell. Anybody watch South Park? Anybody watch South Park that gets that reference? Love you. Okay. So we have a couple of flyers in this room. This is definitely where Thunder Conjuration is going to be located. Here we do have a breakable rubble wall. And we get our spinal chain blade. I'm going to look at the stats. I do think the weapon looks amazing. Here, I do think this is such a missed opportunity to just lead you back into this room, because there's no advantage to being back into but this is another demi-shade ore weapon. So higher on the mine side of things, but also does have some strength scaling. So this could have been a very good weapon for us to use on my other character. I will say I love the way that it looks. I wish that I had played with it. We just love the damage from our greatsword. As you can see, it does apply dark damage on hit. And then when we cast the spell for it, it's a whip weapon that can drag darkness to do a crap ton of damage in the right situation. I'm using up these little shards because I never used them on my room, and that's what they're here for. Now, in my specific case, I have enough mines that it's very easy for me to kill some of these birds. Make sure, though, you have ground for the thunder to hit. if you do not have the ground for Thunder to hit, it will not hit. It'll just, you'll waste your spell, it'll go down into Abyss, and will never hit anything. Darn, I'm out of ammo. That row over on the right hand side. Put him down. Right. So now we are officially reconnected to an area that we were in previously. So right here where this darkness is, that is where our next prototype upgrade is. However, the reason we didn't go that way sooner... Oh, that's... Thank you, good sir. We need some mana for this next room. Appreciate your willingness to donate to the cause. That does seem percentage-based. I don't actually know. For anybody wondering, I would consider it. Interesting, that tree dude instantly... Huh, I wonder what happened now. Got right away. Fascinating. Still doing all of this without any bullet. Definitely becoming a problem. This is a great room that if you were wondering why you should analyze Pastel, or not, why you should Pastel, this would be a great example. I'm going to show it off since in this playthrough we haven't needed to use them in the slightest, but we have half of a build-up in the upper left. Well, there we go. We can let that dude have his hissy fit, grab our rare prototype. That was one, but and I actually don't know what everything is in this game. I was getting very burn does apply and burn over time to enemies, and as you can see, that guy is worthwhile to kill, about 1,000 souls, and he respawns. So anybody looking to farm him, look no further. We have to go back there, get our body back. All right, we can just run across the top here, though. But yeah, mistakes happen. I don't know how that was dirty. Let's see if he's more weak to frost. This is birds. Birds, I was gonna let you live. The line of the bird with Tree Man does get electrocuted every time. The timing of it. Interesting. on this character, since we've been playing so much Instinct, I can expand heals because we have no fear of everyone else. Ice seems to do just as good as fire against him. Okay, I guess you could look at the map here. You would know where you could land safely. Otherwise, you would have to go all the way back up and around. So, map all powerful. Dash to get to that one. But yeah, a lot of the enemies in this area are very susceptible to ice. And as you can see, with ice, it slows your movement speed in half. That can be a lot to get rid of. But yes, feels good. Feels real good to freeze things. I will say the counters in this game on my main character will not feel great. So I do think that they scale with instinct. But admittedly, I'm not. So we're going to take one last look at this area. I did forget about this door over here, so we are going to run over there, and then we can get the hell out of this. And I was going to go down, but I just don't want to deal with that hallway. Oh, shit. I don't want to deal with that hallway, so we're going to go across the top. I think was the boss chamber. Here. I mean, I guess ultimately it's the same line. Both the same end. I do think it's cool that in this game, like, there's like 5 different cathedrals that you go through. Am I going? Oh, burn! Curse of the Burn. Artifact shrouded in tragedy is afflicted, the one who unserved. Once fair being, wronged and cursed energy lingers around, is consuming those who. Oh, this fireball spell was actually really good. So it's the same thing as Curse of Phalanges, where you throw a fire, like you throw an attack at an enemy. And then I guess it's just the preference if you like fire or fire. Going through. Have to travel a distance. Anyways, I love it. I think it's pretty freaking cool. I would say it's very good against your bosses, right? Things where you can multi-hit against. That's why this Ice Blade is so good, is because you can multi-hit. So incredibly easy. Love it so much. Alright, we need to run out of here, so what we're going to do, we're going to use our demon... Oh crap, I don't have enough power for it. Well, demon form. I don't have enough power to go. Alright, so let's take our slow walk of shame out. before we go back home, we're going to go check with our vendors.
It seems a gift has been granted to you. Perhaps you are worthy of our protection, of our secrets. A sacred place of solitude and safety. It is called Alaris, an icy destination, yet no soul can hurry there.
So she tells us where we need to go next. She's up these chunks up to 45, so if you've been relying on spells, definitely a great place to go. Then she does sell us plenty of lunar powder. I do know where to farm it, so I'm not going to bother buying from her on my first playthrough, though. We absolutely were buying. Double jump to get there. I don't have toys for her. That door, I believe, is locked by double jump going up there. This entrance here is through a mirror up in the ice palace. This area, I believe, is also. Need double jump for that. So double jump is the key to almost everything, and you don't get it until the very end. No vendors down this way. There is a baby body in swamp areas, but again, need double jump. Rooftop section, we need double jump. This door, I don't think I ever did find what this door was for. We can go into here though, so let's go ahead in there. Nitpick everything that we were capable. There actually is a door down here as well. So at the very bottom there's a door, but we need 4 crests once we're inside of it. So obviously no real reason for us to go all the way down there. And I would also say at the time. So don't want to go down there without I do wish Executes gave me. Try that again. Goodbye, lady. Oh, ammo. Jump off. Again, double jump is required. Could have waited down here for that. We don't give a shit. We got vine destruction. Killed herself. Killed herself. Silver shards coming So just for some upgrade. So yeah. This room specifically, definitely in the future I'll probably wait until I have double jump for it. We can upgrade our weapon. With like those 2 moon shards, they're not like wasted. It's just that I don't know. We know where to farm. I guess that's also the problem as well, is that since we know what we're doing in this game, this playthrough, rooms like that are a lot less valuable. We need to go to the city. Opposite direction. there's a great example of a spell hitting twice. It hit the fire twice. And hitting him twice nearly killed him, and we're not even a mind-based kill. Dr. Ermin's diary. Young nurse Annabella came to assist me, but I fear she is meddling, modifying crucial tests. I suspect that I must keep her at a distance. There's the game's way of telling you that she was suspicious, and we already had our suspicions that she was suspicious. But it is one of the notes that we needed. I'm going to come down here real quick. Get ammo. Excellent. That's some ammo. I can at least fire my gun. Might have to do a quick grind session to just grind up for ammo. I don't want to. I don't really need to either. Oh, okay. Hold on. So we're at, we're gonna say 101,000. We're probably gonna have to do a grind session here in a second. Because
I must confess, I sense you carry a heavy load of abominable nature. One for which many have perished.
burst them all.
A mere taste of the power that shalt not be plundered without care. A taste that has already been savored by the one who bows only to the power he wields, tarnishing those whom he hunts. A forbidden, yet brilliant power, unfathomable and unforgiving to even those who wield it. Oh, it always does the bidding of its master, wreaking devastation. Soon, it was lost. Its mind now its own, unwittingly discarded in a gruesome battle between two self-proclaimed powers. Since then, it has laid in wait in the liturgical pass. Until now.
Soon it was lost. I mount unwittingly discarded in a battle between self-proclaimed. Since then, laid in wait in liturgical until now. So we just got it. So she's telling us that demon form doesn't sound to me. I 100% expected her to sell me things. Alright, well, let's see. Give the rare prototype blueprint.
Oh, rare find, that one. Gives you all the power you need.
We said that to the last thing, and now we have more power. Excellent. So that is what unlocks the rare prototype blueprint. Unlocks unlimited moon silver, however at max price. So they're not cheaper by any means. We are going to spend nearly 10,000 on Lena's bow. We're going to spend another 10,000 on the worker's blade. The worker? The fire lady who we just killed. That's 20,000 plus 12, so that's 32,300. And then I want to upgrade things. So let's start with Dopietta, because this costs us less moon silver than anything else. Lena's bow, I also want to point out here. So this was something I was kind of interested in. I wonder if it doesn't fire. No, it says it fires bullets. But it does fire damage specific. Interesting. We're going to go with Dopietta first, though. We want this gun as big as possible. It finally now, so at level 7 going to 8, finally costs us 2 Moon Silverstones to upgrade it. So for anybody else trying to upgrade along, there's your moment of like breakpoint. And then our Demi Shade Ore is going to go into this blade. I do want to try to play with this. And it is an instinct blade. So let's see how well it scales up. We're actually out of souls to upgrade it one more time. From 6 to 7. We wouldn't even fully upgrade it all the way. All right, so we have some grinding to do, apparently. We have 100,000.
I am gratified to lay my eyes upon you once more.
Thanks, Mark. Mark, unfortunately, just gives us lore.
This is the first occurrence. I feel peace upon my heart. Ladak's destruction is inevitable after he... after all he has done.
It's kind of weird. We never really do find out what Ladak has done. Like, unless we're saying that he's in charge of everybody else who's been doing things, like Dr. Herman. But yeah, how strange. So she does sell Hungry Essence, which we have been using, and Starving Essence, which does last a little bit longer and does give us extra back. I guess there's no reason for me to receive her because I don't have souls. We'll give her. Let's go get some souls. So guys, I hate to say this, I hope you are ready for the next like half hour or so of us grinding. So great time for Q&A, but we need to gather up all the souls we spent. See if I could hit her while staying on the ground. The answer was no. Summons light with fire. I know that might make sense to everybody else, but so far I wasn't able to stun myself. But yeah, there, because I air dashed, that's why she fired the laser from way up there. Mr. Nonsensical. Only had a 3 combo hit. Turns out a lot of them seem to have about a 4 combo hit. And out of curiosity, I do want to see how much our Dopietta does, about 600. This is where I'm having a big issue with the gun concept, is if our gun is at +8, I guess maybe because our fire blade, everything's weak to fire. Actually, here, what we're also going to do back here, go on a killing spree, because if I can get some ice powder, I would appreciate that as well. I think only the spear thrower. Very interesting as well, like game design. There was me igniting my sword with the weapon skill. All of them. interesting that that doesn't last. But yeah, the fire damage that we get on top of our base damage here is huge. So if we do like lighting things on fire. Rhythm drops. We should start these down. Excellent. Cooling injector. That's a lot of damage. Again, these guys are, in my opinion, when they do their charge attack, take a step in to parry them. Sure to dance on their bodies to grind them to dust. No, that is not optional. Holy crap. Okay, so these things are in fact weak to fire. I say it in that manner because I've fought them a couple of different times with different weapons. Fire is feeling amazing. Hitting me. Every time. Other attack. Yes, give me back my mana. Now, unfortunately, there is a better grind spot in the game than where we've been grinding. However, it's not until much later in the game. We have to get into like the next dungeon. Messed up that one. Oh, I didn't get the flame in time. Damage is so good. It's so good. It's brutal. Behind this vine door. Oh, interesting. Behind this vine door is a baby. Takes us to the one witch that I keep falling down to. I was not able to remember what was up on that ledge anyway. That worked out brilliantly. Do we have to be farming for this 100,000? No, this is just kind of how I play. When I play a game and I do like a huge shopping spree, I like to just like replenish what I spent. And on our first playthrough, we did not do this. I did a little bit of grinding. Not a lot. Really happy about the strength upgrade there. I did not like melt instantly. Doesn't know, swords are not my favorite weapons in games. I don't mind them, but they're not. I'm much bigger fan of axes and whatnot. I will absolutely confess that this weapon is feeling amazing. I guess it makes perfect sense, right? That ice beams would be weak to fire. Doing like an extra 100 damage on a lot of these enemies. just feels stupendous. Down we go. But it is Sunday, so hopefully all you guys are having a great and wonderful Sunday. Hopefully you are also lighting things on fire. Actually, I'm not a fan of what's nice though is that my apartment is so open. Fire sword is making me feel like a god. I'll laugh when we get up to the next boss that I've been like fearing. I'll have to try to do a low-level play run of this boss. But fighting this boss with a level 2 weapon feels so brutal. I don't have a good answer. I also don't think that jet propulsion boots are 100% necessary. They feel very necessary, though. The boss has one bullshit attack where you are standing in the wrong position, or if you are not preempting the attack, you're going to get hit by it. It's like a crap ton of frost cream. I think if I was to do a low-level challenge run of it, I would probably try to do it as a strength with the brawler class. And I would just evenly put points into strength and vitality. Firing their laser, I can't hit them out of there. Glad that we saved up all of our Demi-Shador as well, because it's probably making this weapon look twice as amazing. Also didn't look up the price of what it's going to cost us to upgrade. I think it was $20,000. That might mean I need another 100,000 to go. I guess another 80,000. Whatever, we'll go up to around 100,000, see how I feel, and then go accordingly. I guess I could speed it up. Let's see how effective we can make it. Got it at 750. One of these vials are going to be again, I would probably go just straight for that one. Yeah, it's that way with where I could get one more at 901. Oh, snap. At 901. Oh, no, that's kind of interesting. So 750 and 901 is roughly a 25% increase, right? No, it'd be about 30%. No, it's only 150. Never mind. It's 151 out of 750. That's probably a 25. 28%. But yeah, do I think these things are worth using the vials on? That's me being able to like clear out the majority of them in a reasonable time. I'm gonna laugh when this fire sword is like the ultimate weapon in the game. Turns out everything in the game is super weak to fire. That's why they had to make the firebomb not have like a lingering fire explosion anywhere. Oh, and something I didn't show off, but when we actually cast this again, all our swords on fire. We can throw out fire waves, so it is kind of a pseudo-ranged attack. Might be good in areas with crowded enemies, or maybe really weak enemies. You just kind of need to like hit everything, or if something's low on HP. Quick finish off. But obviously we have the issue where we need things low on HP. Set her on fire. We have another interesting way to deal with that. That specific Wraith Lady, which I don't feel like is smart. Alright, so this sword has... It has strength scaling, dex scaling, and then a good instinct scaling. And I believe it originally was EDC. So as we've been upgrading it, the scaling across all stats are now starting to matter for it. So that's something very good to know as well, that if you're going for a balance build, like if you want to be able to equip everything, which is what we are ultimately going to do with this instinct character. About swords, like they've just always been uninteresting to me. I like how in animes and whatnot, like Japanese style swords, they actually use them for cutting. But like in terms of like medieval style swords, a lot of them would get dull so fast or would like not be sharp after a couple of uses that they turned more into like a bludgeoning blade type weapon. Like, yes, it would still cut the skin, right? Because pretty much anything is sharper than skin. But I don't get swords. Like, maces, a giant chunk of metal, or an axe is meant for like chopping wood indefinitely. Yes, they would get dull, but you still have the weight that would just drive that blade in like so effectively it kind of doesn't even matter at that point if your blade is dull on an axe, because just the weight and the shape of it is going to lend you getting in. I guess like a sword probably just a lot more fast than an axe. But I don't know, man. Like battle axes always look so brilliant to me. Warhammers or specifically maces. I think flails are interesting, but I also kind of guess that like with the chain aspect of flails, I would love to know like if time machines are a thing, that would be like what I would want to go back and study. How often was somebody swinging around a flail where it ended up like swinging or bouncing back into the user? Or hitting somebody very unintentionally. Not like, oh, the attack was deflected and it hit a friendly person. Like, you know, you're trying to swing it to increase like the momentum of it. I never even thought about that. I wonder how big an individual mace ball would be. Or a flail ball. Because like on a mace, right? Let's say it was like between like 5 to 10 pounds. That makes sense at the end of a stick. You'd have this like, you know, the stick, the shaft, and then this giant jagged star on the top of it. But on a flail, if you're carrying it, and there's like, let's say just 3, right? Like I've seen certain flails in video games have like 5. But if you had 3 at 5 pounds apiece, that would be 15 pounds that you are swinging against the stick. That was some pretty impressive wrist strength just for that. And then I would also think that would mean that when somebody goes to block, they're not blocking 15 pounds of pressure. I'm very curious to know what the science behind that is. Because if you're blocking the first ball, right, your resistance is technically weaker. Because you're already in the act of absorbing the 5 pounds of swinging pressure at you, which I'm sure that there's an actual mathematical equation that it's not, like if a ball is 5 pounds. But yeah, I know a lot of times with flails, they weren't just like leaving them down at their side and then just swinging them. You know, most of the time you would have this either like lasso effect above your head so that you would build up some momentum because that made it easier for you to swing and to throw them where you wanted to. And then I would also imagine that, you know, there is talented people who would just have them constantly spinning so that they were ready to Johnny from the Fantastic Four. I'm relatable, guys. I mentioned superhero movies. Good to see. Unfortunately, my blade did end. Kind of, I wonder if like the instinct increases the timer on that. Wouldn't that be hilarious if that was the case? So it's like, yes, you're getting like the maximum timer at 50. And it's still a very short timer. Oh, that's using up ammo? That's using up ammo. Hold to release a stream of flame, temporarily setting your flame. So once again, the weapon we've chosen costs bullets. Alright, so instinct build is definitely one of the hardest ones to pull off. I will say the amount of healing we've gotten, we have 240 in storage. So I would say if you're trying a lot this game, instinct could be a great way to go. I definitely want over 100,000, so I'm gonna have to buy bullets. Joked about this earlier, that it would be something that I was going to do, if necessary. Weapon I think would be great if you were going for an instinct build or a gun build. Like, the most logical instantly would be either like an electric weapon, like the electric whip, but I think that would divide up your stats too much. That was strength and instinct though, so that could be good. And then the ice axe you get so late. And the next boss we're about to go to is does have an ice sword hidden behind them. Go to the final area of the game. If I get a blade. I've already used my Demi-Shade Orb, so I guess we're mildly committed to this one. If I can show off this boss properly, the next boss we're about to fight. Boss ruins my shit. It's namely that it has 2 attacks that I fear greatly. That's why we've been focusing on upping our strength, is so that I can resist critical damage. I've been watching a lot of Diablo 2 streamers lately, and it's something very, very fascinating is that they are constantly talking about, like, you know, your resistances to things and how much damage you can take from that. We're gonna do one final run. But yeah, this next boss that we're about to fight, I would argue that if you're having problems, this would definitely 100% be where I would go to grind up materials, especially because now there's no excuse why you would not have enough usage work. You could upgrade any weapon, any non-magical weapon, right? Demi-Shade Orb is still a very valuable resource. We don't have infinite ability for it. Although I am kind of curious if there's a place that we can go. I assume it's based upon our driving. Funny. Oh yeah, but the Edelweiss pastels, this guy here in the background, I was trying to eat some of my Edelweiss pastels on them to see if I could free them, to see if they would be like an enemy that could come out and about. And then this one as well. Fortunately, that was not the case. You just sit there eating your pastels like candy and just enjoying them. Alright, so let's go upgrade this blade to full. As much demi-shade ore as we can dump into this blade. But yeah, this will be the last of our demi-shade for a bit here, so we still need 3 more before we can upgrade this again. And it did put me below the 100,000. That's not a big deal. We're gonna deal. Unfortunately, though, Blunderblade, as good as it's been to us, is definitely taking a huge backseat at the moment. For a number of reasons. Number one, we're about to go to an ice area, and then number two, I was getting frustrated that we can't use our gun and the Blunderblade. So I would definitely say that if you like the Blunderblade, and I will say the damage does seem top-notch. I'm definitely going to be very curious. I'm going to have to think of a way that I want to test weapons out. Maybe it's against this frost enemy that I'm about to go against. Could be a very good, like, here's me testing the blade to see, like, each weapon to see how good they are in comparison to one another. Because I could realistically get every weapon in the game except for one, because the boss holds this blade. Awesome. So now all of our stats are at 20. I'm going to go ahead and confirm that real quick because I want to look through. So out of our main weapons, we only have one of main weapons that require over 20 strength. And that's for the Ethereal Greatblade. So, in terms of strength, you can get away with 18, it looks like. So 18 strength would be plenty for you to equip nearly every weapon in the game, except for the Ethereal Greatblade. And I would argue for anybody who doesn't want to play with a greatsword, you know, these 2 greatswords would be like right out of the question. So then our strength requirement is maybe 17 for a mace. I don't see most people wanting to play with the... If you don't like strength, right, you're probably not going to upgrade for the mace unless you really like the whip effect of it. So then 13. 13 would probably be the only strength requirement you really need until we get to the katanas. So now I can dump as much of my points into HP as possible. And as we can see here, we got 3 HP, 4 HP, 3 HP. Every little bit helps. Obviously, I don't see the need to go to 22 yet because, number one, I don't intend on using the heavier weapons in the game. I don't have anything that scales really well off of strength. I mean, here we can see that we get a little bit of extra damage, but not critical. I would much rather have the extra HP. All right, we are going to take an incredibly small detour because I want to see what the trigger is. Because I did these things so out of order the last time that I did them. I'm assuming it's once we beat the ice boss, because then you kind of like run to the end of the game. But since I don't know. Okay, so next, Demi-Shade Ore, I can shot a maid. For maid. Oh, I also forgot to buy bullets. Okay, so next town visit, buy. Big fat body. Okay. So noticeably, there's no boss in here. I was expecting a boss to be in there. There is another place I need to check. Shotting that big, bulky, gothic, lovely lady. Four bullets. Surprise! Here are the four children. Unfortunately, I do believe I need double jump to activate all four of them. And then this guy is noticeably not here as well. However, I do know where his last shop is. So I would assume, again, both of these events in this area that I'm looking are tied to double jump. I wanted to wait to do this room, but we're right next to it, and I don't remember if there's actually something at the end of it. So we're just gonna go. This guy is still bulky as balls. Yes. Give me your souls. Down. Here, I'm trying to get both vampire dudes on the... That was the absolute worst case scenario. Now these guys, I actually thought that they were weak to fire. Doesn't really appear that way. 511. Yeah, guys, I just cannot. That's a +8. Oh, now I can't even use it because I don't have 2 bullets. Yeah, 2 mechanical bombs. We do get something for a few treasures, but nothing really like worthwhile. One of the other doors is hidden down behind double jump, and I think the other 2 doors are also hidden behind double jump. I think that is like the one where you can find it. That would lead you to know, okay, there's 3 other doors somewhere. Let's go back to town, we'll level up, and then I'll spend the rest of my money on ammunition in the hopes that we don't have to worry about ammo the rest of the game. And then we'll go fight new bosses. I need to fight 2 more bosses in this session, then I'll probably take a break before beating the game. Need to level up first. They're spending 8,000 souls. Jesus. On ammunition. I will say though, I guess this it does make sense with the fact that our main gun is firing 2 shots off every time I use it. Okay. All right. We actually do need to go to Shrine Place for a specific reason. There's a room I haven't gone into specifically. Down in the lower right-hand corner of this room. I want to make sure I do it because I think this is a secret we can access. Don't need double jump. Double jump holds the baby in one area. Might have been too high. Nice, it was not. This lady specifically, she can fire a laser down and sees you up there if you're too close to her. Crossbones. But yeah, there's been this secret room here. I've intentionally not come here. My mana. Holy crap. Okay. Rainblade, I have very sorely misunderestimated you. That is the first of our blood cups have been filled. And then I can actually go up there as well. We're gonna go up there first. Because I believe I need to keep going to the left to actually go up to the next area. And I kind of want to like clear out this zone as much as possible, like everything except for double jump. Hello, lady. This guy so I can get back some mana. Set you on fire. I think it was only 3 attacks. Beautiful. So these spear thrower dudes, I believe we weren't on fire. It's such a weak. I will say, I do love the fact that everything here is so weak to fire. That definitely means that when I used ice on Lydia, it was not the right decision. She's probably weak to electric, and then I would guess that electric is weak to water. Oh, nice. That is absolutely one of the best case scenarios. Oh, I shouldn't have rolled there. Unfortunately, rolling and air dashing are attached to each other. So if you're ever not sure which you want to do. Oh, hello. Are you? Yes, you're in. That did such little damage. Oh no, where did he go? For those guys, when they die, they also, again, if they've bursted into flames, that's not from my sword, that also causes fire damage. So just be warned that a lot of enemies in this game, after like the second zone, a lot of them have death animations that guy has a backwards swing. If I remember correctly, nothing there has a secret wall hidden behind it. Was this treasure worth it? Yes, it was. Funny if just all these frozen dudes are just all resistant. Too early. Oh, I love it. All right, so we got the one up there. And then I'm hoping that there's two down there. So we need to go back to save points. Take a shortcut here. We're gonna go upgrade our blade because we found two. Oh, fuck me! Found two Demi Shador, which is exactly what we needed to find. They drop the powder, I want it. And specifically, those are very, very much on the way. These dogs, when they snarl 3 times. Times like that is their cue that they're about to do a running attack. Okay, so these support beams, since I kept falling next to this one, I fell into that pit. That's exactly what I was warning about from the very top when I was teaching this route. I guess I probably need to make another video about that. Maybe I'll do it with like a level 1 weapon. I'm gonna do it with this blade and show how ridiculous this blade is. Here, this is nice because we actually do need the soul to upgrade our weapon. I had 30,000 before we died. But yeah, in the speed run, this movement is the fastest tech they have for movement until you get demon form, and then they use demon form strategically in a bunch of places. See if we have enough to upgrade our weapon. And whatever left over, we'll maybe buy more bullets, since our sword and our gun. No, we need one more Demi-Shade orb. I cannot think of somewhere where there's an extra. How But yeah, this at max, like, at max what we can have it at does supposedly do, like, 600 plus the 423. So whatever their armor is mitigates that damage. But that is kind of crazy to think about, that we're doing like 500 damage with that. And then this thing, the fire damage is 21 plus 26. It feels like it's doing amazing damage. Oh, that's very, very unfortunate. We are going to continue to level up as much as we can because I hate this ice boss. We have to go clear out, I think, 1 room, possibly 2 on our way to ice boss here. I can't believe I'm dumping souls into ammo as much as I have to. For the record, there's plenty of boxes for us that we could realistically just go farm up the bullets. I just don't feel like it. I feel like spending an hour farming up bullets when I can farm up the souls and buy. Okay. And once again, I rolled before jumping, which deactivates your air dash. Knocks the play. Is the play, though. Asshole's going to do wait. Really interesting to see. That was nowhere near that thing. Lightning failed me. We'll definitely not need those here. Secret wall again. From that. So there's the fear about being frozen. And once again, that vampire dude has a dragging claw attack where he can attack behind him if you're too close. And he'll swing his claw along the ground and throw an ice shard at you. so close to killing those guys in like 4 hits. They just barely survived. That thing's me. We just need to have a better answer. There's his sweeping attack, and it still hit me. Guys are weird. Really weird. Probably because that phase 2 was annoying. Sure. That would make sense. Alright, we're going to move on towards the boss. I do believe there's one. Oh, there's one last room there. Otherwise, I can't remember where the 4th room is. Not really the worst thing in the world, it's just I don't know where. Lightning spell. Definitely proving its weight in gold here. At least that felt good. Here we have to deal with some moderate ice physics. Not bad. Some of my actually smart would have cast lightning on that top guy first. Everything that I'm doing in this room, we actually can do without air damage. Do rolling jumps and reach majority of the things that I am grabbing here. A little bit more damage. That's really annoying. Not killing these things. Jump there, and then with the gauntlet we can get up to oh, the dude I was trying to absorb. But yeah, you can reach, I think, yeah, you can't reach that spot. This one, as I failed, you can reach it, it's just real tight. Because what you're doing is we need this rock to fall. And we need to, not being back far enough for it. Try it again. So we run, roll, and you can make the jump. I jumped a little too early there. Yes, but you can make that jump with enough practice. It's just a very annoying and punishing one. This jump you 100% cannot. Space to the left got very, very suspicious. Can you imagine if that right there was just pulled the entire time? But we actually want to go down here, not upwards. But right now we're just gathering treasures in the room. Living with like 5 HP. 2 more bombs. For this room needing so many. This would have been a very good spot for one of those blood wells to be. And I don't really remember where the last one happened to my right. Make it really, really obvious and so quickly. Stumble through the one. Not what I was expecting. Gray Moon Charm. So blood, we get crit chance and crit damage. We're absolutely going to take it. Fire resist? There's the line. You assholes. They're forever getting the electric. There I jumped because as these guys put ice plates on their spears, they can damage you and it applies a good deal of frost. Demi-Shade Ore, perfect. And we fully filled up the goblets. We have a bunch of places to go. Actually, I have like too many places to go. Now we've done all 4 seals. Shortcut. Okay, healing injections. I intentionally didn't grab this note a long time ago. Starborn letter. Our duty is clear. In the name of Nova, the vanquisher of Junus and its disciples. We must come out of the shadows, redeem our allegiance to untrue ruler. Yet, we have our part to play in this revolution. We seek contrived vessels of darkness, Night Torn, capable of carrying the power. Give them lucky I can't make it up this ledge. Okay, where am I? Little dumb going down and hit this save. Oh well. Just have to clear that room again. But rolling jumps really are all power. There's one last basket. Ass, give me back my mana. Taking all of yours. Eat batwing soup tonight. Actually, maybe I shouldn't. Isn't that how it allegedly started? I don't think that's accurate aim. Dog. What those things? I would assume just healing rod. Ow. But we can come into this room very early in the game. However, it's just nothing. Can't do anything until all 4 vials of blood are filled. Oblets. Excellent. Shade ore, so now we definitely have enough for our upgrade. Roust bones. A rift of blood. It said that the rift of blood was forged to absorb and crystallize its blood after generational battles claimed thousands of lives. The outer cover split, reveal a blade of pure pain. According to legend, the Ethereal Order has long aimed to graft the blade's power into. So, the bad news is you absolutely need the dash mechanic. Once you have the dash mechanic, if you wanted a blood blade and a katana, specifically, it has a very high dex requirement. Requires 20 dexterity, 18 strength, and 16 mind. I would say, so far out of the stats, right, that has the most complex spread. Because it's all 3 offensive stats, it's just not instinct. What is its... have a 3. That's right. That's the blood weight. A little bit boring. I wonder if it's like really good on bosses. I wonder if all the bosses technically dodge. So they're like super weak to blood. I'll have to do a playthrough maybe of just using that. Maybe that will be my dex build. Because once you get air dodge, you need grappling hook, you need air dodge. Once you have air dodge, I would argue you can do everything else. And then I guess I'll have to see what the scaling is like on it. Alright, so the Fire Striker Blade, I'm going to take it up to its current max level. So very good to know that we need to go through the ice area in order to get the materials to fully upgrade something this high. And if I didn't spend all my money on bullets, I could probably get one more level up real quick. But apparently not. We're about to go fight a boss anyways. We'll get plenty of souls. And a new Schward to look at. We're up to 11,000 already. Easy. That's like a full run. Actually, it would be more than a full run. Whatever, doesn't matter. Alright, so I need to... I have to run back through a room again. Because somebody with sprinkles in their beard weird that none of those are... Yes, give me... Those two fall first and then roll through the next. Yep, dump in front of all those icicles before they reform. Also, something funny that I haven't noted. So, if you take damage while holding this bomb, it will blow up on you. So, this is something that, do at your own risk. If you can use that bomb as a weapon, you can absolutely throw it at targets. It will blow up. It will do. You skipped so high up. You aimed it where you first saw me. There's a spear thrower up here. Two. Spear throwers drops game. Interesting. So they've got me ice bombs and the stones. Could go get me one level up if I really want it. I don't feel like I need it. More Demi Shadors. Very, very good. Cool beans. Alright, so we are going to be fighting a boss. I do want to show off just a hilarious tech that I found out about it while trying to do this as my mind character. I still have to make a mind character. But I'm trying to get this blade as early as possible. This boss's base stats, though, are just so high. But what you can do is you can... So that attack without air dash is so hard to dodge. actually going to preemptively put on Edelweiss. This you have to dodge underneath. I'm going to heal because it's long. Jumping way too early for that. So this attack is obviously not very hard to dodge. That's his only real fast attack. Very well telegraphed. I forgot that stage 2. That ground pound. Lost sight of him. You're going to be able to see him. So Castball always fires an ice ray. Or ice ray. So there. That's the problem that I have. And as you see, I did like half of my life or a third of my life. Alright, swords. Again, time after time. Asshole. So that ground pound is 99% of the time what ends up killing it. There, I didn't get away from it this time. Spikes, you can use them to slow him down. And once he is slowed down, it allows you to react faster to what he's doing. The only thing that you have to look out for is his breath attack. I feel like the best positioning against him is usually against his face. And then just anytime he's about to move, like you'll get the feeling for when he's about to move. You can roll into his body to avoid, or roll away, to avoid that breath attack. Ice Laser, you can just duck underneath of, so that's not very hard. You don't want to be in the very center of his body because he does this ground pound attack. That also looks like Ice Laser. So just remember for Ice Laser, yes, if you can get behind him or inside of his body while he's using Ice Laser, you can just wreak havoc on his body. However, if you guess wrong, and it's not Ice Laser because they have the same first half of their animations, it could be that ground pound, which just does a giant ring of ice around him that hits you for so much HP. But we get the Illigarth Boreal Blade. I really wanted to play with this because I thought a Frost Blade would be a very great mind weapon, right? So we have D scalings on the other thing, and then C on the Boreal Blade. So I personally was like, oh, this Boreal Blade is probably like really, really good. And personally, out of the elements, I like Earth the most. But I do like the ice as a close second. Ice and definitely not water, for the record. But the charm that he also gives you, if you have the goggles, is against frost damage. So if you were wondering where can I get frost resistance or extra frost resistance against him, you can't get it again. Like you can't even get the charm that's super valuable against his crazy amounts of ice damage until you beat him. So I do want to try to make a strength character to see if I can kill him earlier. Or I want to do a guide of how to get that Boreal Blade, because you realistically could get it very early in the game if you can perfect that boss. But I want to show off my stats again. I have 27 Vitality and 20 Strength. Yes, I wasn't in any great danger of dying to that boss, but if he freezes you, you're pretty much dead. Every one of his attacks that hits you applies Frost to you, so at bare minimum, you'll be slowing down. And I would still say he was chunking me pretty hard, right? At 180 HP, and then our Frost resistance over 100, you know, Frost defense is 100, and then resistance to being frozen is 128. He still got me like at like 3/4, I think, at one point, where I was like, okay, I'm gonna Edelweiss out of it. No, for the record, I would say to get to 27 Vitality and 20 Strength is not actually that difficult. So I definitely think that a Strength build, or I guess since we'd be going for this Boreal Blade, you'd want 12, 13, 16 as your base stats, and then what? Skullclaver would be 13 here. And then I guess if I was trying to use this quickly, I would probably, you know, be going off of this class, right? Off the Stargazer. Obviously, you could do it off of like the other two classes, but interesting. I'll have to look at what the starting stats are for the like the rogue or whatever it is. I wonder if they have 16 instinct and 12 dexterity. I wonder if that's the case, because that Blunderblade felt so good to use. But yeah, the Nighttide Route, I think is an amazing weapon. It lets you have really good distance. Even the weapon skill for it, I would say, strike and explode. Never paid too much attention to the weapon type damage. Strike and impact. A strike and heavy. None of these weapons are like even like remotely consistent. Like thrust? What's weak to thrust? Man, this weapon literally has it all, right? It has a self buff. It does slash, striking, and heavy damage. It fires bullets. This weapon literally is like, I wanted to do it all. But yeah, anyways, I'm sorry, I got very sidetracked. The Illigarth Boreal Blade, I want to make a character that uses it as early as possible. And you can get up here. Yes, you can farm before that boss to like level yourself up to these stats. And from what I'm seeing, I would say, 27 by 20 is a very good place to be. And then these stats would have to be down at like 16 and 13 for the Boreal Blade. I don't know if the Boreal Blade is that important to me. Vitality right now, we're going to keep racking that up maybe to about 200. I do know that we need 26 mind for one of our spells. I guess I should start working on some of these bare minimum stats. So yeah, you needed 22 strength. So I think 22 strength is the cap. Hi, Sprinks. Hey, Sprinkos. All right, my one dog that doesn't cuddle all that much just came and cuddled on my feet. All right, we'll take off the Boreal Blade because I don't know. Whoops. Teleported somewhere random. That's fine. I do want to look at the vendors real quick. I have tried using Ice Enchant on that boss, but I wasn't able to chill them out. In the... Sorry, I wanted to look down here again to see if the dude was still down here, the other vendor. I believe he sells Demi-Shade ore. And he is not down there. Let's see if killing that frost giant unlocked anything new. Negative. So far, the bosses do seem immune to status effects, except for fire. There's been 1 or 2 bosses where we have lit them on fire. You do not have any more Demi-Shade ore. Probably needs another cold liver if I had to guess. So one of the places that you're going to see me keep checking often is this area has a boss fight. And then I think it's one of these 2 rooms also has a boss fight. So I'm going to keep looking down there pretty frequently. But good, we got our Boreal Blade. We can now just move on. That item there requires double jump, so we just kind of have to ignore it for quite some time. I actually might take it. On this collapsed tower, if you take the high path on it, there's some Demi-Shade ore. If you're trying to upgrade your Lena's bow. Interesting that that's... Oh, that's one. Okay, so he's going to do a dive bomb attack here. Oh, forgot about that. After his dive bomb, he ice spikes. Another 2 Demi-Shade ore. Excellent. So that's one. That would be our upgrade to 9 once we get to it. Which we don't get to it for a while. I believe that plus 10 weapons. It's like right outside the boss. Not right outside the boss. Really deep into the cathedral. Spanking him down. I believe that still hit. No throwing. Can't roll through. That was fair. Cool. I do know the time on that. Guess I've just been bad at it in the past. Alright, well, once we get the booster jump here, or I guess the air dash. No. Stop existing ever. I'm getting lots of lunar powder. Now, since this guy fired that one, those do go away on their own. Requires double jump. Platforms there, but I can't hard land. Okay. Just fall onto it. Just fall onto it. Here's a secret that I didn't show off properly. I found this while grinding. There's 5 frost bombs there, so if you are a big fanatic of the frost bombs against certain bosses, get those there. Haven't really found... I'm sad that we went an instinct route. And once again, we're not... Fast enough. But yeah, here you can see you that I'm moving real slow. Oh no, I can reach that from the other one. There's no escape now! That frost laser, you have no strength. That's fine. I wanted to come down here anyways. And then she actually only drops Edelweiss and Pastels as well. After that, really? One last thing up here. I was originally doing this on my main character. As part of a grinding path to level up. I was just getting so bored going through like the same area over and over. That's it. Every last bit of it. The torches does not need to be where the torch is. I'm just choosing that arbitrarily. Wait. It's so funny that that's like such a basic puzzle, but it always feels good when you're like, oh, how do I get that? And then you finally remember. And this is an arena. So there's that sweeping attack. Dodge that. So the good news is these guys have really, really slow animations. I would argue that maybe going behind them probably the wrong one. The Severance Reaper. I forgot all about this. But once again, we would need Air Dash to come up here to get it. Scythe originally built to eradicate mortals. After the contamination and the appearance of the Cold One, Scythes found their way back into the Telwynel village. Many collected by the Junis Ministry, who blessed and used them. But some original Scythes remain, ripping out corrupted Nycrux hearts. Cool. So, one of the coolest things about the Severance Reaper that makes it very interesting is its weapon cost is extremely low. And it is a dex weapon from the stat line of it that turns into daggers. So you have these big, strong, heavy attacks with the... What the heck is going on? The game is constantly lagging with this weapon. There we go. But if we use the weapon skill for it, You have these very, very fast dagger-like attacks. So if you are into daggers, that Severance Blade would be the way that you want to go to achieve that. And it is just a pure strength and dex weapon. Interesting enough for me, the Boreal Blade and the Scythe, which is probably... The Scythe is... Is that there then? So weird. All right, guys. So ultimately, this session has gone on a little bit longer than I was intended to. So I am going to take a break for a bit here. We're going to go ahead and go level up real fast. I do think, though, that the Severance Blade Reaper would be the last Moonsilver weapon that you would logically get. So it is a dex weapon. It is the deepest Moonsilver weapon that you can get. Makes me wonder if it's potentially the best because of that. So we're missing two other weapons that I instantly can think of off the top of my head. One is a Dark Blade Katana, and the other one is the Ice Axe, which we get very easily in the next dungeon. But the Ice Axe is a strength and mind weapon. We pretty much have every weapon that you can. So electric. Unfortunately, there's only one electric weapon in the game. So if you like electricity, I guess you're liking that electric dust a whole lot. That's your only real option. Although I guess at the same point, you could say it's nice because you can play with whatever weapon you want then with electricity. Whereas some of these other weapons like the dark and the fire and the blood, you have to hit a certain point before you can use them. So I guess we're still upgrading mind. All of our other stats. So from the looks of it, we need 22 strength is the highest strength requirement. And then when we come over to here, I guess our highest instinct is 18 on guns. However, we do know that one of these, electric candle, requires 20 instinct. So 20 instinct is the highest. Then 21 mind would be your starter place, or 25. I guess probably 20. Instinct would be your highest, so that's where we're trying to get to now. Get there eventually, I suppose. Alright, so we're going to come here, we're going to teleport. I'm not sure what actually saves. Apparently talking to the book is not saving the game the way I thought it was. But, no, I want to be up top. There we go. But teleporting seems to actually be what saves the game. All right. You guys, thank you very much for those of you who hung out with me. I greatly appreciate you. But unfortunately, until that next time.